Good morning and welcome to Chatterbox. My name is Andre. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. If you're joining us on YouTube, please remember to click that subscribe button and hit that bell on the bottom of your screen so that you never miss a beat again. So, the inauguration happened. It went very smoothly, thankfully. And there were a lot of things that caught my attention about the inauguration, the speeches that were given, the diversity of the participation in the inauguration, the symbolism behind a lot of different little things, and that's what I wanted to discuss, the things that caught my attention. So let's chat about it. So a lot of people had a lot of things to say about the inauguration. For the most part, people have been commenting how the whole spirit of unity and this evoking of bipartisanship had been kind of like the central theme of everything that happened during the inauguration, from J-Lo singing "This land is your land, this land is my land," and the fashion also worn by a lot of the former first ladies and other members, female members of government. And that is something that I woke up today and I found out what that all meant, right? So I thought it was pretty interesting that the choice of color, and I didn't really understand that there was a symbolism behind it, but apparently there was. And according to People Magazine, USA Today, and Cosmopolitan, and others that commented on it, they wore purple because they were trying to inspire bipartisanship. Of course, red and blue together creates purple. So that was the message. And on that note, I made a comment on a Facebook post by a friend who was speaking about how important it was to have the first Southeast Asian Afro-American as a vice president and woman, the symbolism behind that, the message that it gives to other girls and our future, and how important it was to have that messaging and how symbolic and historic this was. But to her comment, I agreed and I said the following: "These images are important as symbolism for future generations. Having said that, substance in their actions is what will open the door, because America had its first black president and immediately after a white supremacist, eerily comparable to Hitler. So accountability will matter a lot because the country has obviously not advanced enough socially, so to speak." And I felt it was important to make that point because we really, if we want to follow through on those words or help this administration do what Biden said that he's out there to do, which is heal the soul of this nation and bring us together, we need to understand where our divide starts from or sparks from. We need to understand the nature of it. We need to understand what is causing it so that we can properly address it, and not with words, not with good feels. We need to look at the root causes of our divides. To that point, there is a video or a clip from a video posted this morning by another political YouTube commentator and investigative journalist by the name of Jordan Chariton. I thought that he made some very, very important points. I will say this: the comments are very stern, but I think it's important for all of us to listen to. So before we make any judgments, give it a listen and then we'll discuss.
Biden can talk till he's blue in the face in restoring the soul of America, uniting, but the truth is, the soul of America, folks, CNN won't tell you this, MSNBC won't tell you this, the Associated Press won't tell you this. This is the soul of America, right here. Besides genocide of Native Americans, kidnapping, rape, murder of Native Americans, besides slavery, using black people as free labor in the origins of this country, and then after they were, quote, freed, criminalizing them. This is the soul of America. This is the ugly chart they will rarely show you on MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Associated Press, Daily Beast, BuzzFeed, Reuters. We could go down the list. This is a huge reason why there's so much hate, why there's so much economic despair, why there is such a strong amount of people that were susceptible to Trump's lies, why so many people flooded the Capitol. Yeah, there's racism that's part of it. Yeah, there's paranoia. But there's also, at the root of all of this, is economic despair. And by the way, that's a major reason why Hitler rose in Germany. Germany economically was destroyed in World War I. Industry was essentially taken out. People were economically desperate, and in came Adolf Hitler. And that's how nationalism reaches such a boiling point. And people's economic anger, economic desperation, economic fear makes them susceptible to finding anyone they could blame, whether it's Jews, in Trump's case, Muslims and Mexicans and undocumented.
So there are a lot of things that I agree with on there. As a matter of fact, a lot of the points that he brings up in that clip are points that I have brought up in several different videos in the past, especially the one where I said that brunch is canceled. Precisely because after Biden won the Electoral College, hence winning the presidency last year, I said I had to jump on the camera and record that video about brunch being canceled because as much as we need some sense of normalcy, competence in the White House, someone that is not going to be reactionary, at least not to the unpredictable degree President Trump was, as much as we want all of that, it is important to add substance more than just calmness, because it will be these actions, these policies that help to fix people's lives and correct the disparity, what will bring us together. And it's not only my opinion, a lot of political scientists have said this, economists, have made the same points of the big financial divide that exists today in American people. A CEO making 15 and 20 times the pay of any of their employees, to say the least in some cases, right? And there is nothing wrong with making your money. And if you were responsible for some wonderful and fantastic endeavor, you should get paid properly and compensated for it, but not at the expense of foregoing to pay your employees a livable wage, right? So to cure the soul, we need to understand where our anger comes from, what is causing us to be so susceptible to the rhetoric of any fake populist, because that's all he was. That's exactly all he was. He said he was going to resolve the illegal immigration thing. He says that he was going to resolve bringing our jobs back, bringing coal miner jobs back, that he was going to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act with something better. Even up to the very last days of his presidency, he was saying that he was going to, the plan was almost ready. It was going to be beautiful and wonderful, and it was going to be something like we've never seen before, and all those words that he uses all the time. And up to the very last day, we saw none of it.
We call BS!
Right? So these were things that could have, he identified. This is another point that I've made also in previous conversations, that Trump knew how to identify the things that were bothering and angering the American people. As far as having a plan or any intentions to resolve it, that's a completely different story. But he properly identified what was making people angry. So it is important that once we enjoy the celebration, the fireworks, the music, the rhetoric of peace, unity, and love, after we've done that, we need to pick ourselves up and get to work. Biden, I will give him some kudos on that. He's signed over a dozen executive orders right off the bat, because he's giving us the sense that he understands the urgency of the matter. But it is important that that urgency doesn't let up, because there's so much to do. There's so much to do, and the only way that we're going to get where we need to get to prevent us from being susceptible to another evil genius coming along the way is by us doing our part in being and remaining involved. Just like I said in my video yesterday, loving our country and inspiring love means being active participants in our democracy. Democracy is an active sport. We need to participate. We need to engage and stay engaged. I think that a lot of Americans have woken up to this notion of that we can no longer put our democracy in autopilot, so to speak. Just as I said yesterday as well. I feel that there are a lot more people having these conversations of substance, discussing around family and friend tables about what needs to be done to resolve these very fundamental issues and bring fundamental change. So that's positive. If there's any silver lining in this past presidency, it made us aware in no uncertain or unclear terms of what is wrong and what needs to be fixed. Now, the big question is, how do we fix it? And that is probably going to take some engineering. People like Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Katie Porter, Pramila Jayapal, and many others have great ideas on what needs to be done. And I like to invite people to not knock these ideas just because we don't agree with them. We need to approach things with an open mind, because the truth of the matter is that we have been doing things for the same way for the last 40 years, and look where it got us, right? Got a lot of people angry, a lot of people who are directly affected by some of these policies that Trump was trying to put into place or did put into place, still voted for him because they were angry. So a lot of people rather just throw a juggernaut into the mix or a wrench into the machine, so to speak, and break the whole thing rather than keep on with the same old, same old. This was a referendum on status quo. This is what this was. Yes, there was racism. Yes, there was misogyny. Yes, there was homophobia, Islamophobia, white supremacy, and Christianism, extremism. All of these things were part of the mix as well. All of those things had a role to play. But we have to understand that a lot of this was also anger and discontent with the status quo. So, if we don't want the status quo to come back, we need to run for office. We need to educate ourselves about how our government works, what the branches of government do, what they're responsible for. So if we ever see these newly elected officials stray from what they are supposed to do, we should hold them accountable. And the only way for us to hold them accountable is if we remain involved. So we have to be part of the mix. We can't go back to drinking wine and having mimosas anymore. It is very costly and expensive to do so. So that's all I have for today. Thank you once again for watching. Please keep these conversations going. Leave some comments below. And if you have any subjects that you want me to research and bring up, by all means, do it, because this is what this channel is all about. Everyday people like you and me having a chat about it. So take care, stay safe, and be well. Hey, this is Andre from Chatta, and thank you so much for watching. Please remember to click the subscribe button and hit that bell so that you never miss a beat on any of my upcoming shows. I'm on all different platforms and social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so look for me and find me there. Follow me, like, share, subscribe as well, and leave comments. Let me know what you think, because we need to keep this conversation going. So let's chat about it.